Lopsy.
You want to show Lopsy?
Ulta? Now okay? One more time. Turn. Now, like this. Seems like the Lopsy is the one ulta.
Lopsy is ulta. Baba, khatra.
He stay there. More dita sa globe.
Steve Jobs. So this is based on the book I read, which I cannot find.
To.
Mom, she's sitting on the book again. So this is the book, Steve Jobs, the man who thought different. And there is one quote from Steve Jobs. It says, "People don't know what they want until you show it to them." This book has around 350 pages and is given to me by Bear. And this has 3 parts and 22 chapters. Starting with what happened? Why is this one coming out? Wait. What is this? Okay, take 2. It's still not working. What happened to your mouse? Is it the mouse? So, this is Steve Jobs, the man who thought different. What did you say, Lopsy?
Right there.
Karen Blumenthal. Penguin Random House. In India. Let's move on. So, in his early days, means his childhood. Born on February 24th, 1997. Man! Steve Jobs was the adopted son of Paul Reinhold and Clara Jobs. So he was actually adopted, meaning his original parents had left him. Ajay? Hi. Okay. His biological parents were Abdul Fattah Jandali and Joanne Carol Scable. He used to live in Mountain View, California. He had a friend named Wozniak, which would later change his life. We'll know about that later. This is a picture of Steve Jobs when he was little. He was excellent at school, but really mischievous at that time. Miss Hill. There was one teacher in his childhood named Mrs. Hill. Okay, and that teacher would change his life later. If at first he was actually naughty and mischievous, and was smart but didn't know how to use that. But this teacher, Miss Hill, changed. She gave her one notebook that said you would get $10 if you finish all these equations. So he started doing that and he would earn from that. That would change his life later. He was a genius from that age only. He was born in 1955, so that is pretty old. Yes. And Mountain View, which is a place in California, a relatively small town. And he also had his first friend named Wozniak that would change his life. Let's see how. Then he went to college. He went to Reed College at Portland, Oregon. You know Oregon? Oregon place in America. America. Portland, Oregon, very popular place. And Reed College, not that much known recently. Now it's known. Now it's known. Uh, my mouth, there's saliva. It was a college attracting free thinkers, the people who could think freely and had free will and wanted to do anything at any time, unlike other college which forces you to focus on all the subjects and needed to be perfect. The fee was way over what his parents could afford, but he wanted to go there so badly that after some time he actually convinced his parents to go there, and their parents became broke. He became broke. There, he would ask everyone questions and he started to practice Zen meditation. And Zen meditation, he got into the spiritual thing also later in his life, and meditation. Through there, he practiced Zen religion. He had his strange food habits there, eating so many carrots one time that he actually became orange. Parang si alien. And he used to ask everything and everyone question. He would get good grades there as well. Wozniak also went with him. His childhood friend, his only friend, went there. And they were both really interested in computer science, the new field in technology that was just blossoming. But he dropped out after his first year because he wanted to become what they call a hippie. He wanted to drop out of school and then leave freely. Ooh, damn transition. Now he's on the way. After he dropped out, he started to pursue his spiritual path, the one he was interested. As I told you before, he was really interested in the Zen meditation. So he moved on to the spiritual ways and went to India because he believed all religions. And he went to India to meet, to feel the spiritual lifestyle that other people usually cannot experience. There he had his really long hair cut after a long time. He never took bath, really smelly. People could
Why you don't do?
religious purposes. He asked a guru one time if he should go back, continue his path of technology. And he took that really seriously, and the guru said yes. Then he went back to America and started to work for an arcade company called Atari. You know Atari?
Mm.
With Wozniak. I know you know Atari because you are old. And while he was in India, he used to eat in those local places where you can get food,
Street food.
street food, yeah, for free, like what Duterte is giving.
Theater?
No, what Duterte is giving. Duterte,
Mm.
the one right for free food for like beggars, homeless, like that. Uh, but he only stayed there really short while, not that short, let's say months. Then he went back to the US after the guru said. And he believed that so deeply that immediately after he said yes, he went to the airport, bought a ticket, and went back to America. And then he started to work for Atari, a game company, Lopsy, I think you don't know. Uh, where they made one of the first arcade games, like you need to go arcade, you put the coin and then you start to play. And he worked back there with Wozniak, his longtime old friend, who was also interested in technology. They both wanted to pursue a path in technology, computer science. because they found from the beginning that that would be the future. Your mouse I did not touch. How did I do that?
The mouse.
खतरा मुसा रहेछ. Now, while working at Atari, he decided if he could make their own computer. So Steven Wozniak wanted to make a PC, personal computer, that everyone could use. So they started to make it while working in Atari. The CEO of Atari asked to make a computer within 4 days. 4 days to make a computer. And at that time, now it seems that's a very long time, but that time that task was nearly impossible. They had no factories, they had nothing, and computers were not that popular at that time. Computers used that day was for military purposes to find missiles, rocket launchers, and to do calculations and nothing much. There was some computers uh, that but to use them you had to learn code and nobody could teach you coding at that time. And once you have coded, it could do very basic functions. Uh, and it could just load maybe one game. Uh, and the storage, 40 kilobytes. That's really small because 1000 KB is 1 MB. 1 MB, 1 MB. And even today, 1 MB is so small compared to all the GBs and TBs that we have. TB, terabyte. I don't think most computer have terabyte, but terabytes are there. And if they would finish that by within 4 days, they would get a lot of money. So much money that in fact it would make up for their yearly salary. Wozniak's yearly salary. They made a poor wooden computer which didn't have a screen, which didn't even have a screen like what you can see in the picture over there.
That is the one?
Yes, this is the computer.
Exactly the one.
Had the code, but the screen was missing, a mouse was missing, and it could not be used at all. But they made but the CEO gave the money anyway. He was impressed that what they could make by within the 4 days, that he even increased the amount of money that they were going to give. Well, he only told to Steve Jobs, and Jobs did not tell Wozniak that he increased the price. So Wozniak only received the original amount rather than the extended amount. Wozniak would find out later and would feel betrayed, but Jobs gave the money later, the whole money. And they made Apple One, Apple computer. Then they earned some money by selling $1 chips. You know, chips, the computer chips. They sold those and they earned money to them. You are sleeping, you need to earn. You're sleeping, moms.
What? I'm listening.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. They managed to start a company named Apple. I'm laughing. They managed to start a company named Apple. APPLE Apple, you know, Xiao.
Oh,
Xiao.
Apple.
Apple, Apple, not banana. And they each got 45% share, not 50-50, because one more person joined, Ronald Wayne, who is not that important, but just know his name, Ronald Wayne, who gets to buy the share of the young, who buys share of young emerging companies, and he had 10% share of Apple. But he sold that share later. But if he still managed that share and kept it until this time, the present, his worth will now be billions of dollars. But he sold it, now it's gone.
This wing.
Yes. Kawawa naman.
Look like bees.
Honeybee. Now comes the Apple II, Part 2. The Apple II is an 8-bit home computer, one of the first highly successful mass product produced microcomputer products designed primarily by Steve and Wozniak. So microcomputers are there are types of computers. Microcomputer like this one, mini computer like this Apple II, very small. Mainframe uh, mainframe computer. Mini computers are the one that we use today. This is also a mini computer. Mainframe computers, you won't see that a lot. They have like these. The size of those mainframe computers are like the size of this sofa. They have two CPUs and can be used by multiple users at the same computer. And there are supercomputers. Supercomputers. Ah, okay, my legs to stretch. Okay, better. Okay, it was the first computer that could be used by the mass public and that could work and function properly. It was the most advanced computer at the time. They spent a lot of money doing this because Steve was broke and he needed to do something. So he invested all the money that he had on this computer. And if that had failed, there would be no more Steve Jobs today. And this computer was such a success. It ran for 14 years straight. That was the only computer people ever used for 14 years. And you know how long is that? This computer right now,
Mm.
after 1 year,
Mm.
better technology will be there, right? More better computer, and you will throw this and use another one.
Mm.
But this ran for 14 years. The most best computer that could be used by the public for 14 years. That's a long time compared to today's. It was a huge success. The original price was 1200 for the computer, but slowly decreased by modifications later.
Mm.
The VisiCalc was a spreadsheet program which could do complex calculation. It was installed in the Apple II. It was one of the what they call killer apps in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley. They call killer app. It's without it, the computer would have zero uses because this is mostly an office computer, and VisiCalc was used for by in the office. You could make charts, spreadsheets, do calculations, anything your normal computer can do today. Normal, basic, without the internet. And the internet was also slowly emerging at that time. I think you've heard Netscape.
Yeah.
So you're not that old. Okay, that's good. So Netscape was, I think, the first web browser ever made, and you could use on the Apple II. That's why it was such a success mostly, that internet. You couldn't do much in the internet that time, but still the best at the time. And it could do such complex calculations that at that time the calculators there could do, let's say, 4 plus 4 within 5 seconds. This can do complex calculation like 3 pi into 1001 million billion trillion something.
Mm.
In that would take 0.001 second. Uh, though it does not have a mouse because mouse were not invented at that time, you could still use it by the keyboard. Apple's success, Apple's computer, the Apple II, was such a success. It made it into a multi-million computer. It shows the it's even it was just 1200 million, the $1,200. Hundreds of thousands of people bought it, and it became a multi-million computer. And Steve Jobs and Wozniak became millionaires at that time. Then he became rich and famous. So in this picture you can see Steve Jobs appearing in a magazine. This was This was a long time ago, 1970. He was barely 20. He was 27, a millionaire, and didn't know what to do. But he suddenly found a purpose in his life. Soon after the success of the Apple II, his worth became $3 million. That was a lot. He was one of the most richest at the time. And Apple II was still the huge success. It ran for 14 years, what I told you. The profits just keep on coming and coming and coming. And all he had to do was pick up phone and answer them. And Steve appeared in the front cover of a famous magazine, Inc. INC. He soon became rich and famous like all the greatest of all times. Short from GOAT. He changed the course of computer history soon with that fame and money. So for everything, you need money to do. And even if you have money, you still need to be famous to sell that product, to advertise it, to let people know that it is there. And he had it. Soon after that, its business flourished. It had more employees, more profit. And at that time, of the $1 it sold, 0.27 cents of that was pure profit. And that's how Apple rose at that time. Then he became fired from his own company that he created. So the company's worth now is worth hundreds of millions. And after the stocks began to fall because they didn't came up with something new. After 12, 13 years of the Apple II, they didn't find anything. Yes, they made the Macintosh, Mac, what do you say today? MacBook. But it wasn't a huge success as what it is now. People didn't buy it at all. And soon Apple's reputation began to fail and fall. So they needed a new and fresh innovator. And Steve Jobs was overthrown by their own company. After stocks began to fall, the company started to overthrow Steve Jobs and he got fired from his own company. He went on and started another tech company named NXT Next. So after that time, he thought maybe it's not time to give up. Maybe he can start another company. Of course, he's rich and famous. So he started a new company named Next. That was same like Apple, but it's not Apple. Uh, what I mean to say is they made the computer products, but it was different. But which also failed. It also failed. Next also failed. Their computer, they only managed to make one computer. Was so bad. Uh, they started having debts more than profit. So the company had to be shut down. So it did. So his last option was Pixar. You've heard of Pixar today. Pixar, the animation company, Toy Story, the Cars, the Monster Inc., like that.
Well,
Wally, Eva, like that. Kung Fu Panda, so like that. So he funded that. Actually, he founded that more than funded. He will rise back soon because of Pixar. Let's see how. Now here, Pixar. Let's see the movie. Some of the movie here. Toy Story, Up, Cars, Monsters, Incredibles, Wally, Nemo. So you can see there.
Nemo is Disney.
Not Pixar.
Mm.
So Pixar was the last hope for Steve Jobs. If not, then he would be a failure, though he started Apple. But it was a grand success as their first movie, the Toy Story, was released. Steve Jobs was getting old now, and he needed to do something different badly now. So Pixar, he told the animation company to make their first movie. So they based it on a life of toys that could actually move and talk by themselves. And since children loved the concept, they released the movie and it became grand success. It sold 192 million tickets in 1 year and became the office hit of the year. Means the greatest movie of that year, greatest animated movie that year. And Steve became such a success that he would now be one of the most famous and richest man in the world at that time because of Pixar. Now, actually, there's a story behind Toy Story. So the main character, Woody, Woody, uh, was actually bad at first. He was supposed to be the main character, but his script made him a bad guy. So, and Disney, who also helped make the movie and sponsored and funded to make the movie, thought the script was so bad that they had to make the movie again. And they asked children also, they didn't like it. So they made the entire movie again, delaying it by 2 more years. Then it finally got released. So for 2 years, Steve Jobs was lost and could not find anything until this was released. Script got better, and if that original script was there, Toy Story wouldn't be such a success, and Apple wouldn't be the same as it was today. Who knows? Maybe if that did not happen, he wouldn't be holding that phone today. Okay. Now his return to Apple. I did a mistake. Now you cannot see this text. That's okay, I'll read
You
it out
can
for
read.
you. After the success of Pixar, he still wanted to go back to the field of technology. And since next failed, his only option was to go back to Apple. Now, Steve Jobs, he still liked technology. That was in his blood. That's what he was made for. That was his destiny, as some people would say. And Pixar were just helping him to go there. Next fail, of course. Some company shut down. So he couldn't make another company because he could not afford another crash. So he went back to Apple as his only choice. And they accepted him gladly because the company was dying. There was nothing new coming up except for the Apple II and the Mac. Mac, somehow they improved it, but still it was not up to their expectations. Now let's see how he would change it. So at first, when he went back after the return to Apple, he immediately started working on a new product immediately. As soon as he went there, he knew that something new must be there because customers want something new rather than the old Apple IIs that they had. So he first of all he improved the Mac and made it cheaper because one of the most uh difficult thing for customers was to afford the Mac Macintosh. So he made it cheaper by losing a few parts there, and suddenly the profits start to rise for Apple. He was like the Jesus for Apple. He suddenly when he comes there, everything starts to become better. Uh, now Steve noticed that Walkmans, Walkmans,
Mm.
the one you carry and you listen, the music, only music, were too difficult and big. You had too
Mm.
many plugs. The battery life was very low, maybe 1 hour max. then it will go out. So he made the iPod. Did he have an iPod?
Yeah.
iPod, which would redefine music forever. Had a long battery, had only 5 buttons, which made it very easy, and could hold millions of song. We're talking millions here, not thousands, not hundreds, millions, for a relatively cheap price than the Walkman. It became the biggest hit of the century, the 20th century.
Mm.
People had never seen anything like it. It was such a big success. It sold hundreds of millions of iPods in its first year. That was a big success for Apple. And 70% of all their revenue and income came from the iPod because of Steve Jobs. So he designed that so perfectly because at the first design was complicated, and when Steve came, he changed all of that. He made the even the memory longer, the battery last longer. He was such a perfectionist as well. He wanted everything to be very symmetrical, like which shade of white would suit this. How much of the curve should be in that edge of the iPod? How big should it be? Will it fit in your pocket? And there's this annual meeting called the Macworld. That was held from the creation of Apple II. Since the creation of Apple II, there was a annual meeting called the Macworld, where he would show the new technologies uh, that was made in Apple. So in that that day, the particular night, the particular week, the weekend when it became public, people went crazy. It was such a big hit for the small box. And it might not go out of maybe America because of the iPhone, and it could do the same thing. But for that few years of time, people thought this guy was God, legend, for what he invented, what he had done for the computer and for the computer industry. And on that note, I want to say the end.
That is all the whole book.
Not part one, there are 3 parts.
Hmm.
Hmm. For now, you see, that's for now.
So there are how many parts remain? Two more? Just two?
Tomorrow. No, 1 part per day. Yes, of course. Yes. I told you. He could not think of something new, and the stocks started to fall. And Apple needed a new CEO. So he overthrew. Yes, I explained to you. We're sleeping.
But that is his own company.
Yes.
Can do like that?
It's gone. Yes, 45%. Yes, fired. his share was still there. He took his share, but he was no longer. Yeah, he is still the shareholder. That's why he could return back to Apple. One of the reasons. Yes. So 45% of share was still with Steve Jobs. But he is just no longer the CEO, but he still had the share. That's why he could return to Apple also. One of the reasons he could return back to
He
Apple because he had the
he
share.
had the share.
Yes. Not he did not start. He worked. Atari. Make games, arcade games, program games. Like he was a programmer there. Until he opened Apple. Yes. Program games like that. Worked with Wozniak. The book it was only written that he was a programmer. Yes. He had two other friends. The what I told you, Wayne and Wozniak. Yes. It was very small company. They didn't they have a yes garage. They worked in the garage. They made it in the garage. Steve's home, yeah. Palo Alto. I told you, right? The Atari boss, he needed a computer within 4 days, and he asked Steve Jobs to make one. So they made together with Wozniak that 4 days, and they made the Apple one. And since then he realized that he could make a better version of that with more time. So he made the Apple II after that. So initially it was because of that Atari boss. I need to ask him now because no one knows how people think like that. Yes, actually Wozniak made most of that. Steve Jobs just made it popular actually. What he has done is IBM IBM popular 4 5 after 4 5 no 2 3 years after Apple was made. Yes, after the Apple. Yeah, and he took the concept from IBM. Yes, actually, Lopsy, while making the Apple II, you know microprocessor, right? Needed to make computer. He actually took from Intel. Wow. Bought, bought, not bought, bought. No, he's not a bot. Yeah, yeah, yes. Actually, he quoted this one time. Stay hungry, stay foolish.
What is the meaning?
Means never never settle on a goal. Like once you have done the goal, do not finish. Do not like stop on that. Wait, I'll show you that quote. Ooh, here.
You just can explain. No need to show this code. I don't understand how to stay hungry and foolish. Hmm. And then foolish,
Like I never get satisfied and move forward. Always push yourself.
okay. I get it.
Actually, speaking of hungry, we need to eat now.
But Hassan, I have one question.
Oh,
Food.
here. Yeah, what is the quote?
So he have this Wozniak friend since childhood,
Yes.
and they work together. They went to India together, and they
They
returned
didn't
back.
go to India together.
Only
Wozniak
the
was not that spiritual.
only the Steve Jobs.
Yes.
But they were working together, and they start the company
Yes, Wozniak
together.
left the company later.
So why this Wozniak was not popular and then this Steve Jobs became like
because he
this?
stayed till the end of Apple.
But Wozniak also have a share in that Apple
Not
company.
anymore. He sold all of those.
But he is now the CEO, right? He becomes CEO. This Wozniak. Mm. Oh, 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 I see.
One of the reasons is that, and also the Wozniak's wife
Mm,
moving to new place, and then he thought in his life also, if you're happy and you can stay with your family and friends together,
mm,
then you have completed your goal. So they moved in Hawaii and left the job.
mm.
One of the reason also might be because of Steve Jobs. He could not also handle the pressure. You want to see Wozniak? Have you ever seen Wozniak?
Yeah. Oh, looks like Santa. Okay, this is Wozniak.
Look, this is him with the computer. This
Mm.
is him with Steve Jobs. Was like this before. This is Steve Jobs. Stay foolish. Stay foolish. Yes. Another. Yes.
So another lesson.
Try to make something so special that even the laws of physics in the universe will break. One time he said that
Even the
laws of physics will change in the universe.
law.
Laws of physics. I want to make a dent in the universe also, you know?
What is dent?
Dent.
What is dent?
Like a bending there. Go here. We're here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why else would
What is
even be
dent?
here? Dent like a bending in the universe.
So what is that?
It's like make something so.
What is the useful? What is the use?
No, no, no. It's expression, okay?
Oh.
Parang robot, this one.
Okay, that.
We're here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why else even be here? Means some make something so special that even the universe would, change and be affected. Make a dent in the universe. Not dent. A reduction in the amount of times. A reduction or in amount of or size. Like what you heard in the BBC, right? Like he has barely made a dent in the poverty rate. Dent, like small. Moms need to understand what is dent. May nakbanda mo kayo.
Why, son? Why banda?
Do you know when he died? Moms, do you know when he died? Do you know when he died, Moms?
Not
You don't know when he died. 2011. 2011. 11. Moms don't know.
What is conclusion remark? My feedback for Son for his presentation. Well, appreciate what he did. I don't know much about this one also. Because of his presentation, I learned. And then, yeah. And that is also just a part of the book, which he finished so fast also. He read the book so fast. And yeah, sometimes he was laughing alone, smiling, reading the book. Sometimes I also smile when he see.
Yes, I enjoy. Yes, a lot. Yes, I'm enjoying. Yes, Lopsy, I'm page. Lopsy, I read 80 pages until today. Uh, around 200. 64,000 pages.
Or 6,400. Characters or words?
Words, I think words. Google it. What do you say? Around 6,400.
Or maybe
200, 600, 500.
not
It depends
300.
on the book.
Maybe 300. It depends upon the font size of the letters
Yeah.
and the size of the book.
500 words. 500, Lopsy, 500 words. 500 or average.
Divided by 500.
12 page. 12.
Just 12 pages in 30 minutes.
Just.
Son can read more than that.
See, I read 50 pages 1 hour. So 25 pages, half an hour I read. Okay, I'll put timer now. O- Open time. Okay.
Okay, Pops will eat now. Lopsy also eat now. What is your dinner? Apple? Oh, you because of the Steve Jobs
Oh,
reaction.
Apple.
Okay, Pops.
Okay, Lopsy, wait. I'll check one page. How many seconds? One. Wait.
Wait,
Wait, Lopsy, I'll check how many seconds in one page. 3, 2, 1, go.
who is kidding? Pops, wait.
Why not? I saw that video already. Okay, 3, 2.
Okay.
Parang si Baka.
Pops, just give 1 minute for son. Listen. Look.
37 seconds, one page.
How many words? One page. Just one page. 37 seconds. Wait, I will ask. I need to ask.
270 words, I
Not
think.
give me. Give me. And 270. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 41, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 77, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 88, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 88, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 200, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8, 9, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 96, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 77, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 6, 7, 8, 79, 279 words. Okay, I will ask you question now. Go there. 279 words, 37 seconds, one page. Now I will ask you question. If you understand what you read or not. See the sun. Here is your son. Wait. Okay. And wait. I will ask him question and check he
No,
understand or not.
no,
Not. I will ask you
I will
question.
explain in briefly,
No,
but
no, no. Okay.
so
Where's Lopsy?
so the people so the people in Silicon Valley started to move to more formal offices in Palo Alto, California, and there were 394 offices there. And then in this page they were talking about Elon Musk's life in Canada with the X.com, the company that he founded. And one reporter said in the X.com that you will need the sun, moon, and stars with you. That much I remember. Mom's is checking if I what I said is right.
Okay, I will. That is okay.
Okay, bye. Say bye.
Bye, Lopsy.